Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review again, finally. Today we are taking a look at another Jurassic World figure from Mattel, another Hammond collection one that is, and that is the Jurassic World Hammond collection Velociraptor Delta. So here we got the second member of the Velociraptor squad from Jurassic World. As we already got Blue earlier this year, now we finally got Delta. And the fact that we already got Delta, a second member, I guess you could say, it's just a matter of time before we get Echo and Charlie, and I cannot wait to add those to this Hammond collection pack. So really exciting. I found this at a Target, and I'm just super happy to finally have another Velociraptor squad member in Hammond collection form. So here we got the main look at the packaging. Nothing too spectacular here because it's just the same packaging that we've been getting for a while now. The only difference is just that's a new dinosaur character. So the same usual stuff. It says Velociraptor Delta down there. Don't know why my camera's not focusing. There we go. Here we got a cool render of Velociraptor Delta. Yes, this one is missing the snout on the cardboard cutout. That's just the way it showed up, but I'm pretty sure the figure is good enough. Besides, I don't really keep this part of the packaging anyway. Here you can see a good look at the figure right here. It looks really cool. You can see the glass eye. It looks awesome. Here on the side here, you got a cool little render of Delta. Then it says Jurassic World because that is her first appearance. On the other side, it just says Hammond Collection. And on the back, this is where all the good stuff is. Here we got a couple more pictures of the figure, some close-up details, and just some various poses you can put her in. Then you got the other figures that you can find: Claire, Pyroraptor, Therizinosaurus, and the Giganotosaurus, which I have them all except for Claire. I'm still debating whether if I'm going to get Claire or not, but if I find her for like maybe a good cheap price, then maybe I'll pick her up. But I'm really happy to have these three though. That was my goal as soon as these were revealed, so I'm really happy. Here we got a little bit of a bio for Velociraptor Delta that says, the second biggest of her pack behind Velociraptor Blue, Velociraptor Delta is part of the Raptor squad trained by Owen Grady. After the Indominus Rex escapes on Isla Nublar, Velociraptor Delta and her pack are pulled into the hunt, but things don't go as Vic Hoskins predicts. Obviously, that's a reference to the Velociraptors basically following the Indominus Rex. They're communicated. So the Indominus Rex basically turned the raptors against the humans, which was a really cool scene, by the way. And then the mention of this Vic Hoskins also kind of hints that of his demise from Delta. So a kind of cool foreshadow there. But yeah, pretty nice overall packaging for Delta. Let's go ahead and get on to daytime right here and take a closer look at this figure. Alrighty, so here we have Velociraptor Delta out of the package and assembled. You do have to assemble the tail onto the figure, which is pretty common with all the other Hammond collection figures. But anyways, here is Velociraptor Delta out of her box. You can look at her in all of her glory. A really great figure, I'd say. This is probably my favorite Delta that we've gotten from Mattel thus far. And actually looking at it, I think I might change that. It might be my #1 favorite Delta figure. There have been other ones in the past that were great, but I think just in overall terms of just movie accuracy or just detail and all that, I think this Delta right here definitely wins. It's got more of a movie accurate look. The paint is really good. It's actually pretty basic like the other past Deltas. And then obviously it's got articulation, a lot better detail in the sculpting, because it's Hammond collection, so I think it looks really nice. And not to mention, the glass eye works really well on this one. You can definitely see it very nicely there. The yellow glass eye with the black slit pupil. Yeah, looks really nice. It pops. So, yeah, I mean, just taking a look at it, really great figure. Excuse me. Obviously, we got the new and improved sculpt for the Raptors from the Hammond collection, such as the better proportions, in the hands, the length of the tail, the smaller size of the feet, so everything is definitely much more proportionate, just like Blue. And yeah, this is a great addition to the Raptor squad for the Hammond collection variants anyways, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting Echo and Charlie later on down the line whenever they show up. So obviously the main difference here, there's actually two main differences here, not counting the paint job obviously. At least the main two that I noticed is that there's a different sculpt in the hands and a different sculpt in the head. So the hands are different than Blue's, and we'll do comparisons later on, but the hands right here are a bit more of like a pouncing, grabbing position, like about to attack famous pose from like a Velociraptor. But the main difference here is the head sculpt, which is new to match the unique head sculpt with Delta, because all the Raptors have unique head sculpts to themselves. There's like main differences. Echo and Blue have like the normal, like classic Jurassic Park Velociraptor head, whereas Delta and Charlie have that more pronounced crest right here in front of the eyes, kind of similar to the Jurassic Park 3 Velociraptors. So that's really cool. You can definitely tell, and like I said, we'll do comparisons, that the crest here is definitely more pronounced. So that's really cool. Mattel's kind of paying attention to those subtle details. And obviously, you know, off topic here, as much as I want to get a movie accurate color scheme for Echo for the Hammond collection, which I'm assuming they will, but I'm wondering if they're going to give Echo her signature scar on her face. Who knows? But anyways, back to Delta. Really great sculpt here. It's pretty much the same as Blue for the most part, except for the unique differences here and there. There's actually at least a couple of other differences. My mind's been going blank. There's like the neck kind of feels like it's a different piece, and we'll do that during comparisons, but also in the mouth right here, it's got much better sculpted teeth. Look how sharp and clean those look. They don't look like globs of white paint, you know, painted over a large mass and then calling it teeth. This actually looks like full-on sculpted teeth, and that looks really great. Mattel is seriously improving their figures, and it just looks spot on. Much better than previous ones. The Pyroraptor had the same thing happen with the newer improved teeth, and that looks really good. And it's unfortunate that Blue doesn't have these kind of teeth. So she's going to be the only one out of this Raptor squad that's probably not going to have these newer sharp-looking teeth. But yeah, the teeth look really great. Nice and sharp, and I thought they were just like the separate molded inserts like all of the other figures I've been getting, but no, these are actually sculpted and they're actually painted. So Mattel, great job. You guys are doing great with your improvements. I mean, your figures were always great. I just liked seeing you guys improve, you know, really nice. Yeah, just the head sculpt just looks amazing on this Raptor, especially with those newer teeth. It looks really great. Then moving on to the rest of the body, it's pretty much the same sculpt as Blue. So you got the same lined textures and wrinkles in the skin, the huge amounts of pebble scales littered throughout the entire body, which looks phenomenal. It pops, definitely with the shading due to the sunlight. The sculpt in the hands look really great as well. Nice muscle definition poking out throughout the arms, the body, the legs, and the tail. Just some nice wrinkled lined textures going around the sculpt right here, which looks really great, really nice. Some folds in the skin, just kind of gives like that extra life and that extra movement in these figures. So as you can see, the legs here are looking really nice, nicely detailed. Same here at the feet, nice and proportionate. You see the dew club right there, which unfortunately is not painted, but that's to be expected, and it's not really a big deal anyway. Here it is on the other side. It just looks really great. I love the detail. And I don't know why, I just really like the face of this Delta figure. Like, it just looks really great. And dare I say this, I might say I like this Delta figure a bit more than the Blue, only because of the difference in the teeth, and I don't know, there's just something about this one that just looks really nice. You can also see some tiny little bumps coming out of the skin right here, which is pretty iconic for the Jurassic World variant of the raptors. Lots of nice scale detail here at the top of the head. Nice thin body, which is signature look for a Jurassic Park Velociraptor. So really nice texturing. So overall, the figure is just really great in terms of the sculpt work. I mean, I know it's pretty much just the same as Blue's, but it's pretty great. For colors, they match Delta pretty nicely. It's got like that darker green pattern with the light underbelly, and then the dark, I don't know what you call it, like maybe like a grayish black or like a bluish black color, or maybe just a super dark green for the markings, which she has a bunch around her face and here at the body and the tail and the legs. So they kind of just like stripe everywhere, which is really nice. I will say the paint job could be applied a bit better. And I mean, the color choices are great. They're spot on. I'm more talking about these black or these dark markings I feel like could be applied in other places around the body. Because I feel like, I mean, I know Blue only has like that one or basically two blue stripes on her body. I know it's just like one thing, but if you're able to do a lot of great detail with that, I think it's pretty fair to add some more of these dark markings all over Delta. Like, if I remember correctly, I know she has like a dark mark here at the lower part of her jaw. She's got some more black markings around the face, around here about the back of the head, more on the body and the tail. So I guess what, I mean, I do like the additional dark markings here on the arms and the legs. They pop. I guess I would say if this one were to be improved, I'd probably say the dark markings, I wish they would continue down the tail a bit more, because Blue's stripe continues further down, and the dark markings I wish were applied here at the back of the neck. So back of the head and the back of the neck, just to make it feel a bit more complete, because it does feel like it's a bit unfinished here and there, with not a lot of black areas covering the green. Because Delta, she is like a darker green, but she's also covered in a lot of these darker markings on it. So that's kind of a signature look for Delta, and I kind of wish they added that. So, but other than that, the color choices are great and they're spot on. Here at the inside of the mouth, the teeth are nicely painted in a different light color than the underbelly, which makes it pop. Then the inside of the mouth is really great with like this pink fleshy color. And then the eyes look great too with that yellow and the black pupil. So really great there. And then the claws on the feet and hands are painted nicely as well. So for articulation, you can see, like we saw before, we got the jaw articulation, which moves pretty smoothly. And then here at the head, it can go up and down pretty nicely. The down motion is pretty great. You can get some nice looking down poses or some drinking water poses. And then they can also rotate 360, so you can get some nice positions of it looking to the side, which looks pretty good. And then here at this base part of the neck where it connects to the body, it goes up about that far and down about that far, so you can get some really nice positions either way. So it looks really great, actually, the positions you can get right here. And I do apologize for my neighbor's dogs next door. But yeah, and then moving on to the shoulders right here, they can pivot in and out. They can move 360. And then here at the elbows, they can just move forward and backwards, and they can rotate as well. So pretty standard for these raptors. And sadly, no wrist articulation. And then here at the thighs, they can pivot in and out a little bit, at least with mine. Then here at the hips, they can move forward and backwards. And then here at the knee, they can bend forward and backwards as well. And it can twist or swivel right there. And then here at the foot, not the ankle, but the foot, it can go down about that far. So you get some nice walking or some pouncing poses, and they can move backwards. So really great mobility here in the legs. So you can get some really nice raptor poses. And here at the tail, it can swivel and it can move left and right as well as up and down. And then just like all the other raptors, it comes with a bendy wire tail. So you can bend it in whatever position you like, which I try not to use these too much because I don't want these to wear down over time. but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it with Velociraptor Delta. So let's go ahead and take a look at some comparisons. All right, so first things first, here we got Hammond Collection Blue. So look at that, we already got 2 out of the 4 Raptors in the Raptor squad, all complete. We're just missing 2 more individuals, and yeah, these 2 look great together. These Hammond Collection figures, man, the paint, the sculpt, it just brings them to life, and these 2 look really great together. I can't wait to add the other 2 to this pack whenever we get them. And you can see some subtle changes here and there. You know, for example, I think the bodies are the same, like I said. You can see the changes in the arms, or I mean yeah, I guess you can say the arms, but mainly the hands. So Deltas are a bit more risen up, and then the Blues are more of like the famous pronated position of the Jurassic Park Raptors. So I like, that's really cool. If we can get like a different pose for the hands and the other 2, that'd be really cool to get these guys in some unique poses. And then here you can see the difference in the head sculpts. As you can see, their crest here on the skull is a lot more pronounced on Deltas, and Blues is a lot more flat because that's pretty accurate to the film. Other than that, everything's kind of the same. Actually, the eye placement, or maybe the glass eyes, are actually slightly different. Deltas seems to be more in the skull, which makes it have like that naturalistic look. And Blues is a bit more outside. It's poking out a bit more. Even the slit on Blues is actually a bit different than Deltas. I like Deltas a bit more. So that's very interesting. So there's a lot of changes here, and we'll do the changes here in the mouth. As you can see, the difference in the sculpted teeth, Deltas is definitely much better, and then Blues is definitely not as good compared to Deltas, but I like seeing Mattel improve with their figures right here. Other than that, the colors are obviously different because they're different members in the pack, but other than that, they look really great together. And next up, here we have the Hammond Collection Owen compared with Delta and Blue, and they look really great together. And like I said, I cannot wait to get the other 2 members because they look spot on next to each other. And I also forgot to mention, I had to actually run back inside to grab it, but that cool little headpiece harness with the camera that came with Owen can actually fit on the other Raptors, which I think is what Mattel was planning on having happen, because I know it only came with Blue, but you can put it on Velociraptor Blue, you can even put it on Delta, so that's really cool. It's kind of unfortunate that it only came with 1. That means we'd have to buy like 3 other Owens just to get 3 other harnesses to put on these Raptors, just to recreate that scene from Jurassic World. Kind of unfortunate, but I do like how this camera piece fits on Delta. It actually looks really great on her. So I thought I'd point that out because that's really cool. And finally, last but not least, here we have the Hammond Collection Delta compared with the other Deltas that we've gotten from Mattel in the past. And there's a lot of difference between all of them. And just by looking at all of these together, the Hammond Collection is pretty much my all-time favorite Delta out of all the ones released from Mattel. This one's definitely the best. And plus, it's got the more movie-accurate head sculpt. So obviously, I'm going to choose movie accuracy over just how cool it looks anyway. So yeah, Hammond Collection one definitely beats in terms of being the best. But just comparing it to the other ones, man, Mattel has changed and improved over the years. It's really cool to see how their progress goes. So for example, like this is their very first Delta from the Dino Rivals line. And this is definitely not their best Delta. This is probably my least favorite now. I don't know what was going on here. This is actually would make a better Echo because it's got that yellowish color and then the blue stripes. But the dark markings, or the color of the darker colors here, are actually pretty good. If they were to replace this mustard color with like this type of green or even this green, it would actually look a lot better. But I don't know what was going on with Mattel at this point to make this Delta, because it is definitely not the best at all in terms of accuracy. But I still can consider it a very nostalgic figure because I remember getting that in 2019. Then here we got the other Delta that came with the Camp Cretaceous Raptor 4-pack for the Dinoscape line back in 2021. Wow, it's been that long already. And this one's actually pretty good too. It's got the kind of like the more duller green color with the dark markings. So this one's actually not half bad. It's definitely not as good as the Hammond collection, but it's definitely not terrible. The dark markings here are actually pretty similar to how the dark markings on Delta, the Hammond collection, are applied. It doesn't feel very complete, and it could have been applied better in my opinion, but this one's definitely an improvement from this one at least. And then we got this one, which I think was more Camp Cretaceous, not Dinoscape. And this one was actually, before the Hammond collection one was even a thing, considered my best Delta I have in my collection, because this one's like really great. I actually would say this one's probably my second favorite, with the Hammond collection being my first. The dark green and the dark markings are really great on this one. The bright yellow eye, just the colors on this Delta are really great and make for a really cool look for Delta. It doesn't have the accurate head sculpt. It's got more of the classic Raptor head sculpt, but the colors are really great, and I really like this sculpt too. So really cool to see all these differences in Deltas, but definitely Hammond collection one beats them all out of the water. Well everyone, that's about to wrap it up for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Jurassic World Hammond collection Velociraptor Delta. For my final thoughts, I love this figure a lot. I think it's definitely the best Delta from any of the Mattel Delta figures. And I probably like Delta a bit more than Blue, only because I like the new additions of the newer sculpted teeth. And I mean, I guess that's mainly the main part. But overall, I mean, Blue is probably my favorite out of the squad. I mean, they're both good anyway, but I guess I just like the newer teeth more than the other teeth that's on Blue. And I'm looking forward to getting the other two members, hopefully soon in the future, as I keep on saying. But yeah, a really great figure. I highly recommend it for any Jurassic collector, especially if you're trying to collect all the Hammond collection figures. I think the Hammond collection versions of the Raptor squad are definitely going to be the best Raptor squad we've gotten. So I highly recommend to pick up Delta for sure, and even pick up Blue if you don't even have her yet. They're definitely worth the money, and they're just really fun to play around with and pose around and all that. So yeah, really great figures. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next video.